What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Oak Tree Football Channel. The first round of the 2020 NFL Draft was last night, and there were some expected picks, but there were also some surprises. Today, I just want to say my opinions on these picks, so let's get right into it. So with the first pick, the Cincinnati Bengals took Joe Burrow. I don't think anyone was surprised about this pick. It's been expected for a long time, and the Bengals made the right decision. Joe Burrow is going to be an immediate starter, and he is really drafted into good situations with the receivers around him. Anyway, this was the right pick for the Bengals. Number 2, the Redskins took Chase Young. Just like the first pick, this one was also expected. Chase Young was arguably the best player in the draft. And even though Washington don't really need an edge rusher, this was still a good pick, and I think they'll have a top defense in the NFL. Next, the Detroit Lions took cornerback Jeff Okudah. I expected the Lions to go with Okudah, but I expected them to trade down. Apparently, they didn't get a single offer, which is a bit surprising, but they were still able to get the player they wanted. Okudah is going to be a big part of the Lions' defense, and I expect them to get a lot of playing time this season. With the fourth pick, the Giants took offensive tackle Andrew Thomas. I don't think Andrew Thomas was the best offensive tackle in the class, and I think there were better players the Giants could take here, but I think Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman thought Andrew Thomas was the best fit for the Giants. I don't know if this was the best pick, but I don't think it was a bad pick either. Fifth overall, the Miami Dolphins took Tua Tagovailoa. Right before the draft, there were rumors that the Dolphins wanted Justin Herbert, but that's obviously not what happened. I think they definitely made the right decision, and even though he probably won't play much as a rookie, Tua is the future of Miami. The Dolphins made the right decision with this pick, and I don't think they'll be regretting it. Pick number 6, the Chargers took quarterback Justin Herbert. Since the Dolphins got Tua, this pick was mostly expected. I'm not that big of a fan of Herbert, but maybe with the right coach he can play well. I'm not sure if Anthony Lynn can be that coach, so I don't expect Herbert to be good. In college, he was so inconsistent, and he was a 4-year starter. You would think that over the years he wouldn't have been as inconsistent, but no, it was almost the same for his whole college career. Personally, I don't think Herbert will be that good. Pick number 7, the Carolina Panthers took defensive tackle Derrick Brown from Auburn. This was a good pick. I think it would have been better if they took Isaiah Simmons, but Derrick Brown is still arguably a top 5 player in the draft, probably a top 5 defensive player in the draft. It was still a good pick, just like I said. I think it would have been better with Isaiah Simmons. Pick 8, the Cardinals got Isaiah Simmons. That was kind of a steal because Isaiah Simmons should have been picked before that. Isaiah Simmons is one of the best players in the draft. And linebacker was not the biggest need for the Cardinals, but because he can play anywhere and because he's such an unbelievable athlete, the Cardinals are going to be happy with him, and this is a really good pick. Pick number 9, the Jaguars took C.J. Henderson. I'm not too high on Henderson, but it makes sense. I mean, they couldn't take Derrick Brown, they couldn't take Isaiah Simmons. So this pick makes sense. Pick 10, Browns got Jedrick Wills. This was kind of a steal that Jedrick Wills fell to number 10. I was surprised that he got past the Giants and the Cardinals, and even the Chargers. So this was a very good pick for the Browns, and they just need to protect Baker. And Wills is, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle in the class. Pick 11, the Jets took Mekhi Becton. Becton is a very good tackle. I expected him to be the last offensive tackle taken off the board, though. But this was still a good pick for the Jets. Becton is very talented. 12, this was the first pick that I really didn't like that much. It was the Raiders taking Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is good, but there was other receivers they should have gotten. Really, I think the only reason they got him is because of his speed. A few years ago, if you remember, John Ross set the record for the 40-yard dash, and then he was a top 10 pick. I think it's the same situation here. I think the only reason they took him was because of how fast he is. I think Judy would have been a better fit for them. But anyway, pick 13, the Buccaneers trade up one spot for Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs is a very good tackle. I just don't really understand why they traded up because I don't think the 49ers would have taken him. But Tristan Wirfs is really good, and that they got him as the 4th tackle off the board is a steal, really. 14, the 49ers took Javon Kinlaw. I had projected they would take Javon Kinlaw, but I thought they would trade down to 21 with the Eagles to get Kinlaw. They didn't trade down, but they still got Kinlaw. Pick 15, the Broncos got Jared Jeudy. This was a very good pick. I think it would have been better if they took CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb would have been better for them, but it's still a good pick, and Drew Lock will be happy to get a great receiver. Pick 16, the Falcons took AJ Terrell. This was a bit of a reach. I don't think AJ Terrell was deserving to be the third cornerback off the board. He's not bad, but there was better options in my opinion. Pick 17, Cowboys took CeeDee Lamb. I'm an Eagles fan, so I was not happy with this pick. I was hoping he would fall to us, but Lamb. The reason I think they took Lamb, I think if they didn't take, so I think edge and like cornerback in those positions was a bigger need, but I think the reason they took CeeDee Lamb was so that the Eagles wouldn't get him because they do not want to be facing up against him twice a year, and also he's a great receiver. So they're giving them an extra target, and they're taking a target away from a team they'll be seeing twice a year. That's why I think they made that pick over possibly a bigger position of need. Pick 18, the Dolphins took Austin Jackson, the tackle from USC. This, in my opinion, was maybe the worst picks in the first round. Austin Jackson is still good, but I think it was a bit of a reach. I think there was better tackles they could have taken, like Josh Jones. Pick 19, this was a big reach. The Raiders took Damon Arnette. I really did not like this pick. I thought he was going to be a late second rounder. It was a big reach. I mean, Damon Arnette is a guy who can play well, like, right now. It's one thing about Arnette. I think that's maybe the reason they took him. But the Raiders, they looked like they were going to have a good draft, but I don't really think they had the best first round just based on the picks they did. Pick 20, Jaguars got K'Lavon Chaisson. I was shocked that Chaisson was still on the board at this point, and this was the right pick for the Jaguars. It was a great pick. Pick 21, my Eagles took Jalen Reagor. I really, really like Jalen Reagor, and I've been thinking maybe should they get Reagor, but I was really thinking they would only get Reagor if Jefferson was gone. I was really surprised we didn't take Jefferson, but I'm happy with Reagor. I think Reagor will be great, and Reagor's really going to fit the Eagles' scheme better than I think Justin Jefferson would. He's fast, he's explosive, he's going to be a great fit with the Eagles. Pick 22, the Vikings couldn't take anyone other than Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't be surprised if they had waited to take a receiver, but because Jefferson was on the board, they couldn't pass on him. They needed to take him immediately, and Jefferson is really, really underrated. And I'm telling you, for the next few years, Jalen Reagor and Justin Jefferson are going to be compared to see did the Eagles make the right decision or did they make the wrong decision. That's going to be, for the next few years, the two of them are going to be compared. 23, the Patriots traded out of the first round with the Chargers, who traded back in to get linebacker Kenneth Murray. Murray is a very talented linebacker. This was a good pick. They needed linebackers, so, it made a lot of sense. Really, after they got their quarterback, they need a linebacker and offensive tackle. They filled one of those needs with the second or third best linebacker in the class, depending on if you think he's better than Patrick Queen. Pick 24, the Saints chose Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, the center. They chose Eric McCoy last year, who's also center in the second round, which this one was a bit surprising, but I think they'll move Ruiz to guard. I think that's why they took him, but this was a very good pick because Ruiz is going to be a big help, really, on the offensive line. Pick 25, the 49ers traded up a few spots to get Brandon Ayuk. I was a bit surprised by this. I think they could have got Ayuk if they stayed where they were, but I think they really wanted Ayuk, even though there were other good receivers. I think they really wanted Ayuk, so they wanted to trade up to make sure they could get him. 26. This might have been the biggest surprise of the draft. The Dolphins trading with the Packers. Packers trading up 4 spots to get Jordan Love, the quarterback out of Utah State. I think Jordan Love is the next Packers quarterback. He's like one thing about Jordan Love is he needs to sit behind someone to learn from them before he can be a starter. And I think Aaron Rodgers is the best player he could sit behind. Sitting behind a probably future Hall of Famer. And, I mean, in a way, they're kind of similar. So, this is the best possible player. This is the best possible place he could get picked into. I was a bit surprised that they traded up because I don't think anybody would have picked him. Like, I don't think the Seahawks, Dolphins, Ravens, or Titans would have picked Love in that time. But I really think the reason they traded up to get him was to show that Jordan Love is the future of this team. I think that's what they wanted to show with that pick. They did lose a bit of draft capital. I think they lost a 4th rounder, but still, that was an interesting pick. Pick 27. Seahawks took Jordan Brooks, the linebacker. I did not like this pick, especially with Patrick Queen still on the board. And then they're taking Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks, I don't really like Jordan Brooks. So I was really surprised that they took him. Like, in my mock, I had him going in the 3rd round, and then they pick him up in the 1st, which really surprised me. 28, Ravens took linebacker Patrick Queen. This was a great pick. It was really, I was surprised that he fell to them. But I said in my mock that really I just expect them to take the best player at either receiver or linebacker, and Patrick Queen was by far the best. So this pick makes a lot of sense. 29, the Titans took Isaiah Wilson. I think tackle Isaiah Wilson. I think there was better tackles, but I don't think it was a bad pick. Pick 30 from when the Dolphins traded with the Packers, and they took cornerback Noah Igbinoghene. I like Igbinoghene. I think he can be good. I think this might have been a bit early for him. I think he should have gone a bit lower than this, but still, it was a good pick. Pick 31, the Minnesota Vikings with their 2nd pick traded down, and then they took cornerback Jeff Gladney. They were definitely going to take secondary in the 1st round, and Gladney was I think Gladney fits them well, and they're stealing him right from the Chiefs, who are right behind them. So I think the Chiefs would have taken Gladney if the Vikings didn't, but because of that, they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire from LSU. Some people say like DeAndre Swift is the best running back in the class, or maybe Jonathan Taylor, or even J.K. Dobbins. But in my opinion, it has to be Helaire. He's so talented. And this was a great pick for the Chiefs. This was a great pick for them to just keep improving their offense. It's going to be so good next season. So I think that was one of the best picks of the 1st round. And they stole him from some other teams that were picking early 2nd round. If the Chiefs didn't take him, he would have been taken, I think, very early in the 2nd round. So the Chiefs just stole him from them. So that was the whole 1st round. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you all next time.